What is good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification, put that thing on all so you can get notified of all our latest blogs that we drop on this channel. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to talk to you briefly today about a bit of news that came out. It's been progressing sort of from, I think it was from early last week or end of last week, something like this. But anyway, the WBO have apparently been in talks with Oleksander Usyk and also with Joe the Juggernaut Joyce. And it looks like we're going to get, at some point this year, Joe the Juggernaut Joyce versus Oleksander Usyk. And this is going to be for the WBO's interim belt. And of course, there's been a bit of controversy because Alexander Povetkin and his people, they've been, what am I talking about? Povetkin. I mean, Oleksander Usyk is who I'm talking about. So Usyk has been chasing the WBO shot and they've been getting a bit impatient and, you know, sort of saying to Eddie, look, we want our shot, we want our thing now, blah, blah, blah. Eddie Hearn has since said, you know, look, we will drop the belts if it means we can make the undisputed fight. And it seems like the team Usyk have sort of come to their senses here, and they seem quite willing to take the Joe Joyce fight, and Team Joe Joyce, obviously, they're willing to take the fight as well. So it looks like we might get, or we should be getting, actually, I'm pretty positive that we will get Joe Joyce versus Oleksander Usyk, and that will take place at some point during this year. And that fight will act as an eliminator to face Anthony Joshua next, or actually to even face Tyson Fury. Because I think the idea is to let those two fight at some point this year for the interim, to then be sort of guaranteed a shot at the winner of Joshua and Fury. And then if whoever's successful out of Usyk and Joyce, they will get theoretically a crack at the winner of Joshua versus Fury. The only question there would be, I wouldn't be so confident that their shot will come this year, because I think with Joshua versus Fury, if it's a good fight and if it's a close fight, I reckon they're going to run it back. I reckon it's going to be one of them where they're going to run it back. If there's any controversy, if it's a close fight at all, I think unless someone gets knocked spark out and just gets destroyed, then I believe that there's going to be a undisputed fight between Joshua Fury, and then there's going to be a rematch later in the year. I think that's how it's going to go, because I can't see, with the amount of money that they're set to make, wherever they put it, Singapore, Middle East, China, wherever they want to put it, they're going to make a ton of money. And I think as long as the fight is competitive, there's going to be a rematch. So we've got good news there in that we're going to see Joyce versus Usyk. But I think those boys, they're going to have to wait, at minimum, they're going to have to wait until 2022, because I think Fury Joshua, that's going to happen at least twice. Because I think both guys are quite evenly matched. I know a lot of people are quite dismissive of Joshua because of his Ruiz loss, but you've got to say at the end of the day, still very skillful boxer, very powerful fighter. And it's a case where, yes, he hasn't boxed anyone like Fury, but I'd also say Fury hasn't really boxed anyone style-wise like an Anthony Joshua with the same sort of attributes, good combination punching and things like that nature. I'd say he's fought a harder puncher, probably in Deontay Wilder, but Joshua is a combination puncher, and it's going to be a hard night's work for whoever wins. So, yeah, really looking forward to this fight, Joe Joyce versus Oleksander Usyk, taking place at some point this year. I'd be interested to know your thoughts on who you think could win. I think a lot of people are high on Joe Joyce now because he's beat Daniel Dubois. He really done serious damage to his eye socket and was winning the fight mostly with a jab. And there is a theory that goes that back in the days when they fought the first time, Joe Joyce was just getting started and he's a long distance man, and Usyk mainly had success because that was over 5 rounds. This fight now that they're going to have will be over 12 rounds. So there is a theory that goes that the longer distance will favor Joe Joyce. But I would also counter that and say that, well, Oleksander Usyk has a fantastic engine. and he's able to throw non-stop punches for 12 rounds without any issue. He's a slick fighter. He varies up the power. He throws great combinations, and I think he's far more skilled as a boxer than Joyce. So I consider it a pretty even fight, to be honest, because Usyk was fantastic as a cruiserweight and he done exceptionally well, but Joyce is sort of the tried and tested man at heavyweight. So for Usyk, it will be a step up as far as the heavyweight division is concerned. I'd put someone like Joyce above someone like a Chisora. I think Joyce is more on the way up, and I think it's one of those fights that it will be close, it will be competitive. I might slightly lean towards Usyk, but again, it's one of them that over a long distance, Joyce is just so tough and so strong, and he will just keep coming. So I wouldn't be surprised if Joyce was able to beat him. But for me, I think my money would be on Usyk by a slight margin. But I'd say it's a even fight, 50-50 sort of fight, and I can't wait to see it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Who do you think will win? Would it be Joyce? Would it be Oleksander Usyk? You know, the main thing about it that's great is that it clears the way now for the undisputed fight. So anyway, ladies and gents, that's just my thoughts. We'll get Oleksander Usyk versus Joyce this year for the WBO interim. And that's great news for boxing fans. Until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. I'll catch you on the next one.